The smartest way to destroy those who hurt you is to become someone their actions can no longer reach. Asterisk, let's be honest, every one of us has been hurt by someone. Maybe they betrayed your trust. Maybe they disrespected you. Maybe they humiliated you when you least expected it. And the first instinct, the very human instinct, is to get revenge, to strike back, to show them you're not weak. But the Stoics teach us something radically different, something far more powerful. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's not about pretending you don't feel pain. It's about rising above the need to respond from the wound. And when it comes to people who hurt you, the Stoics give a terrifyingly smart strategy, one that destroys your enemy without a single word. Without a fight, without drama, without lowering yourself to their level. Because the truth is this: the deepest revenge is becoming completely unaffected. Nothing crushes a person more than realizing their actions hold no power over you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy," Seneca said. "He who seeks revenge keeps his wounds open." Epictetus taught, "No one can harm you unless you permit it." Notice something? They all point toward the same truth. Someone only has the power to hurt you if you continue to grant them emotional access. Take that power back, and they collapse. This video breaks down the smartest, most psychologically devastating Stoic strategies to rise above those who hurt you, not by attacking them, but by outgrowing them so completely that your very existence becomes a reminder of what they failed to break. This isn't about ego. It isn't about winning. It's about reclaiming yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to become emotionally untouchable, how to use silence as a weapon, how to make your growth destroy their ego, how to detach from their version of you, how to transcend revenge entirely. This is not about passive aggression. This is about Stoic dominance, a calm, grounded presence that shows the world you cannot be manipulated, shaken, or weakened by anyone's cruelty. So if you've been hurt, betrayed, insulted, or mistreated, stay exactly where you are, because what you're about to learn isn't just wisdom, it's transformation. Let's begin. Asterisk, silence has a weight. It has presence. It has a psychological force that people underestimate. In a world where everyone reacts instantly, where people defend, attack, respond, argue, silence becomes a shockwave. Most people expect retaliation when they hurt you. They expect you to crumble, react emotionally, confront them, or beg for closure. Your silence denies them all of that. It freezes the script. It removes their reward. And that is exactly why it destroys them. When someone hurts you, they often do it for one of three reasons. They want control. They want attention. They want validation that their actions mattered. Silence gives them nothing. And nothing is unbearable. Let's dive deeper. 1. Silence removes their power over you. Stoics teach that no insult is powerful unless it's accepted. When you do not respond, you are actively choosing not to give your emotions away. Your silence becomes a barrier they cannot penetrate. This psychological distance forces them to face themselves. And most people cannot handle that. 2. Silence creates uncertainty. Humans fear what they cannot predict. When you react, they know exactly where you stand. When you stay silent, they begin to question, why isn't he replying? Did I lose access to him? Did he stop caring? Is he better without me? Is he planning something? Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their insecurity back at them. 3. Silence signals strength. Not weakness. Weak men explode. Strong men observe. Wise men choose what deserves their reaction. Your silence sends a message. I am not controlled by the actions of small people. Stoics believe that the moment you respond in anger, you lose control not over the other person, but over yourself. When you stay silent, you remain in command. 4. Silence protects your energy. Revenge drains time. Arguing drains emotion. Retaliation drains the soul. Silence preserves all three. It tells your nervous system, we don't feed what harms us. Chronic reactivity is a form of self-sabotage. Silence is self-restoration. 5. Silence forces them to live with what they did. When you respond, they shift the blame. When you argue, they justify themselves. When you explain, they twist your words. But when you say nothing, they are left alone with their behavior, and eventually, it eats at them. Silence forces accountability. 6. Silence shows you are unreachable. The greatest flex isn't revenge. It's emotional inaccessibility. When you do not react, they cannot manipulate you, they cannot provoke you, they cannot control you, they cannot feed their ego through your pain. You become untouchable. Conclusion of Keynote 1: Silence is not passive. It is active discipline. It is an intentional decision to refuse emotional pollution. It is strength in its purest form. Silence doesn't mean you lost. It means you evolve beyond the level where their words or actions matter. The Stoics understood this deeply. What you do not feed cannot survive. And nothing destroys an offender faster than starving them of your reaction. Asterisk, there is a truth most people never realize. The greatest punishment for someone who hurt you is watching you become someone they can never hurt again. Growth is psychological revenge. Improvement is emotional justice. Transformation is silent domination. People hurt you because they believe you're stuck where they left you. They believe they still have access to the same version of youth, the one who cared too much, trusted too quickly, forgave too easily, or stayed too long. But when you begin to grow, that version of you dies. And when you evolve, the person who hurt you loses the one advantage they thought they had: familiarity. Let's break it down. 1. They expect breakdown. But you give them breakthrough. People who hurt you secretly expect collapse. They expect you to spiral, to show weakness, to prove they were right about you. Betrayers need validation proof that hurting you made an impact. But the moment you begin improving your life, emotionally, mentally, physically, socially, you break their expectations. And nothing haunts a person more than being proven wrong about the person they tried to destroy. Your self-respect, discipline, maturity, physical improvement, financial stability, emotional control become weapons. Not because you use them, but because your growth exposes their smallness too. Growth forces them to confront their own stagnation when you evolve. People who hurt you face an uncomfortable truth. They stayed the same. You didn't. Your new discipline highlights their laziness. Your progress highlights their excuses. Your maturity highlights their immaturity. Your confidence highlights their insecurity. Nothing destroys a person's ego faster than seeing someone they underestimated surpass them. Stoicism teaches, do not correct a fool. Outperform him. Outgrowing someone is the most silent correction of all. 3. They lose access to the version of you they manipulated. People don't miss you. They miss the version of you who tolerated them. When you grow, you stop responding instantly. You stop justifying yourself. You stop over-explaining. You stop believing their lies. You stop craving their approval. You stop being emotionally available. This is what destroys them. They cannot adapt to your new level because their power relied on your old weaknesses. Stoicism is about becoming so self-directed that no one can control your internal world. Your growth removes their influence completely. For your new life becomes a mirror they can't escape. Your success becomes their discomfort. Your peace becomes their irritation. Your confidence becomes their insecurity. Your self-respect becomes their punishment. They expected your pain to break you. Instead, you used it as fuel. You become a mirror reflecting their failure to crush you. You become living proof that what was meant to hurt you elevated you. Stoicism teaches the power of transmutation. Turning adversity into advantage, your evolution is the clearest proof that they never had the power they believed they had. 5. Outgrowing them makes their memory irrelevant. Your new self has no space for old wounds. As you grow, their name loses emotional weight. Their past actions lose psychological impact. Their voice becomes background noise. Their presence becomes irrelevant. People fear being forgotten more than they fear being hated. Being hated means you still care. Being hurt means they still have emotional influence. but being irrelevant? That is the true death of their power. As Marcus Aurelius said, choose not to be harmed, then you haven't been. When you outgrow them, their place in your story dissolves. 6. Your glope is the revenge you never have to announce them. Most powerful revenge is the one that doesn't look like revenge. No threats, no speeches, no confrontations, no proving anything, just quiet discipline, better habits, sharper boundaries, improved health, elevated mindset, new opportunities, a stronger identity, and one day they see you metaphorically or literally, and there is no trace of the old version they could manipulate. You become someone they no longer recognize, someone they no longer understand, someone they no longer can reach. That is psychological devastation.